Welcome to another episode of That Crazy Triangle Guy. Here we are looking at Bitcoin US dollar index on the hourly time frame. And we've gone back in time to where I think I left off here. We were forming this perfect cup and handle pattern last weekend. Yeah, I remember. It was Sunday, I think. And anyway, we thought we didn't form this little handle here that we had thought, and instead just started rallying right here. And at that point, then I pulled one of our infamous parallel channels, this orange skinny parallel channel. You see another one over here. And when we bust a move, Bitcoin tends to go up at that slope. And you can see clearly how Bitcoin held almost perfectly right along this channel. Right, closing right there, riding right up along the top of it here. And see, this is when I started going. It wasn't following the course that I had planned, which was further consolidation over here sideways. It seemed to be acting irrationally. And I'm like, wow, I guess this is bustier than anyone had predicted. There's no stopping this thing. And I think, oh, anyway, regardless. So anyway, we started going up here. I think I probably placed that X there at the same point I placed this channel here. And sure enough, we hit it here. Now, as we busted a move pretty strongly up here from all the way down at 61 and a half up to almost an all-time high at 68 something, we had this pullback, and that was a fake out to make you believe, to make me believe, I fell for it. We had this pullback down to 65.6. And I thought, all right, that was our pullback, and it's off to the races. They did that. We didn't form a handle back here. We had this little pullback here to catch everybody off guard and get everybody a little overconfident. And sure enough, it worked. And then they dumped on us and liquidated, got a bunch of, well, only after getting a few shorts too. They probably got a few shorts here in this area because the shorts thought, oh, we're dumping. Faked them out or liquidated them and liquidated all the longs. Now, as this was happening, I didn't think we'd come down this far. That's where we did come down to. I thought we would hold here at the top of the pink parallel channel. Now, you can see that we did close hourly. And as a matter of fact, okay, so the pink parallel channel is at 61.1. Well, let's go to a 1 minute chart. And scroll back to wherever that was. Here we are. Wow, we found it rather quickly. Nope, that's not it. Let me pause and find it. All right, I found it. So here's our pink line at 61.1. And here's the action here on the 1 minute chart. So you can see we spent a total of less than 3 minutes, 3 minutes or less below there. And from 61.1 all the way down to 59.1. So, but as you'll notice, that's where they sucked up all your Bitcoin right there. That's really funny. No, it's not funny if it happened to you, but all right, I'm going to pause while I switch back. Now, at that point, we're back on the hourly chart after this dump. And we recovered from it here. It didn't take very long till we were back on track. And I assumed that's what would happen after that little dump. Actually, after a dump like that, you got to assume that the reason for that was to clear out any excessive leverage, and so we can move on. And now, originally, this purple line here, this zigzag purple line, before the pump, before the dump, I had that line between this dashed purple line here. Where are we? Let's move this right there, and this pink line here. And that was that's the top of one of these pink parallel channels. They're stacked on top of another one. You'll see another purple line here and a pink line there. That's the one that's stacked on top, and here's the top of that one right up here. So I initially postulated that we would chop sideways in this area before coming up here on Friday. And after that pumpy dumpy thing, I moved my consolidation up into this area mostly, with a couple pullbacks possible down to like this purple line here, or down to actually that dashed purple line. And we kind of got a little pullback here and a little pullback here, but nowhere close to that line. So that was good. And we did follow this consolidation up in the just inside this new pink channel right here. We did follow that consolidation, and did end up hitting this target, which our all-time high. That's that Christmas box looking thing. Just a few hours later after we thought. And so now here we are. And quite honestly, I thought we would consolidate in the triangle here, formed by our all-time high level at 68,990 something, and the top of this, or bottom, whatever, of this pink parallel channel, until here. That's why I placed this new elevator channel right there, because that is at that's when CME Futures opens today. Actually, we just changed our clocks, but I think we changed them across the country. I think everything should stay the same. I'll have to check on that. So I thought we would start busting a move, and it makes perfect sense right here from this pink line. From the pink, we'd run right into the pink line and then start busting a move right here. But we started already. We already started, which tells me the bullishness of this move, of this market. It's really strong. We've got a really strong bull run going. Now, all things have to come to an end eventually. Now, so since we're planning on busting a move here into next week, I want to take a look at something I started looking at, but don't really understand, only because I don't understand the exact details of how leverage works. Like if someone has a 10x or whatever, who pays them? And where does that money come from? So people have like leverage that goes way down to 26,000, or probably even lower. When they finally do, sell or claim that leverage, where does all that come from? I don't understand the exact in and outs, and I know they make money off of, people that make bad bets, but seems like there are some winners that get pretty hefty payouts, and I just don't understand all that. But regardless, this is a current leverage chart on the I think it's a 3-day chart. Yeah, 3-day for Binance. This is from CoinGlass, on CoinGlass. And when I looked at it last night, there was a lot more leverage down here in the 65,000 area. It looks like people have closed that out. No, and I think they did that smartly, because what I was looking at is that it would be possible for them to dump us down to about 65,000 and clear out all this liquidation that was down here. It appears to be less than there was. So that was a good call for them to close their trades. And so right now, it doesn't make sense that we would come down more than, just under 68,000, maybe 67.5. If it's really even worth it for the market makers to do that, or whoever does all that kind of stuff. Because you got to understand, they do pay a price for dumping on the market, and is that price going to be compensated for by the little amount of leverage that's right here? It's not really a lot. I think it really needs to build up a lot more before they try some sort of move like that, where they would get a cascading effect. But so let's say it is possible that we see a dump down just under 68,000. Let's go back to our thing here. See, initially why I said 65 was possible, because right here we have this orange line right there at just about 65,000. It would be fully conceivable to come down and bounce right there at the intersection of these two lines. And the opportunity for that is about come and gone. And the people close their trades, and all's well. Now, just under 68 would take us down to this small, very tiny dashed grayish white line. And that is a possibility right now. And the reason why is that dashed line is the center line of this white channel that we're trading in, that I've zoomed out for. And here's the bottom of the white channel down at about $60,000. Here's the top of the white channel up about almost $75,000, and sloping upwards. Now, if we go back and look, let's go back to where we interacted last with the bottom of the white channel, right here. You can see that this white channel was significant right here, because we busted through it, came back down, and held it as support. Tested it a couple times with hourly candles there. And then we moved onwards and upwards through the channel. Now here is the center line of the channel right here. We had a nice move upwards and stopped at the center line of that channel, and finally busted through, held it as support, lost it, and came back down here. Came right up to it right here. This is where we started this cup and handle pattern. Little tiny cup and handle pattern. I just thought it was funny that it was forming so perfectly. And there's the center line of our channel. Again, we didn't have really much interaction for it. After breaking the center line, I imagined that we would, okay, look right here. We did come back down to it right here perfectly. So, all that tells me is that we could come back down here before to clear out any little bit of liquidation before moving upwards here. Overnight tonight, before U.S. market open on Monday morning. That's a chance. Not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying, look out for it. It could happen. And it wouldn't surprise me. All in all, though, the overall move is up, up, up. And as you can see, here's the top of the white channel at 75,700. And that would be at the end of the day on Tuesday if we did just travel upwards in this elevator parallel channel. Now I have an X here, and I don't remember why. Oh, you know what? Let me just go back and make sure I know what that is. All right, so what those X's are is that I pulled see these purple arrows here, a short one there and a longer one here. They are based on about 68. Okay, not 68, not our all-time high, but based on the tops of the daily candles that candle bodies that were formed atop to our ascending triangle back here. Now, where to estimate, where to make I couldn't figure out back here exactly what the length of the target was. So I chose this one, I chose this one. We don't necessarily need to get into all that detail right now. But, and so this one would give us a target right here about this X. The reason I put it right there is because it's right at the top of this green parallel channel, which I believe we would oscillate upwards in this direction with the elevator channel and this green escalator channel somewhere up into this region. So sometime on Tuesday we could be up there around 73.6. Another choice. What's the word? Oh, God, I'm so bad with my words. Anyway, I wasn't certain if possibly we could also be in this orange parallel channel. Now, orange parallel channel looks very similar to the white parallel channel. I think they may be, it looks like they're probably parallel to one another, just shifted upwards a little bit. So if we are, in fact, interacting with the orange parallel channel as well as the white one, we could end up here at the center line of the orange parallel channel. And that is also a point where it intersects this tiny blue parallel channel. I know I got a lot of parallel channels here, but they all have some sort of significance in my mind. And so 74.3, what did we say back here? Yeah, around 74.3, but that wouldn't be until Thursday. Or what I think is more likely, let's make that guy bigger, because look how tiny he is. Can we make him bigger if we go like this? No, that just changes him. Hey, you go away. I want to make this guy bigger. There we go. Put that question mark right there. I think that's where we're going to end up, right here at this question mark at about 75.7 at the top of this channel, the white one. And that's also the top of this pink parallel channel. And what day is that? That is on that's on Wednesday evening. Yeah. So maybe we do hit this orange one right here. Maybe we continue upwards here, hit the question mark. Maybe we hit all of these X's. Hit the red one, come back down, hit the question mark, and then come back down and hit the orange one on Thursday. There's a good possibility possibility we do all three. Anyway, that's what I'm looking at this starting next week. Now, when will this stop? There is a possibility we do go back down below 69,000. But I think there's a much larger possibility that we never go back down below 69,000 again. If we do, maybe just a little bit underneath. We'll just have to see what the charts play out, because what we need to do is we're done with that area. I'm going to switch to a different chart. So we're on a weekly chart of Bitcoin US dollar index with most of those lines removed. And excuse me. We have the visual range volume profile pulled up, and the range we're looking at is between the high in 2017 and our bull run in the start of our bull run in 2018. I'm sorry, 2020. Now, after we hit the all-time high here, we just punched through and went straight up, and we didn't get any buildup of support here above that after 19,000, and that's why, as we came over here, see, we built support. We started building support up here, but we got this big hole here all the way down to 19,000. Well, now, because I've squinched this over, we're losing some stuff underneath 19,000. But, so you can see really now, we got this hole. Well, actually, just to 24 right there. But ultimately down here. Well, I see what's happening because, yeah, this is what's shown up on the chart now is where we've actually started coming down and filling that. So that's why we have it with that. And that's the point I wanted to make. In the bear market, we had to come back down and fill that. And we did. As you can see here, we filled that area. Filled that area up. Now, as we move on here, see, there's kind of like a little hole here. I think that's why a lot of people thought we would come down to 32. Plus, I noticed on the leverage chart, there's a lot of leverage that goes down that far. So that's not happening. I think we've gone long past the possibility of that happening. That would be devastating to BlackRock, Infidelity, and all those people that want the Bitcoin ETFs to succeed and be strong. And yeah, I just think the rest of the world will buy up anything at this point in the $60,000 range, as a matter of fact. So let me turn this off and remove those other channels. So you can see here now, looking at modern times since our last all-time high, well, that would actually just be a few hours ago, but really, this last all-time high, let's get those guys out of the way. Kind of do have a little hole here around 52, 53, 53,000 something. I don't think that's a big deal, but we got pretty good right here down to about, it could come down to about 65 and do a little bit more filling in here, but I think the market is just too exuberant for that to happen. Maybe as we go sideways in a couple months and have a little pullback, we do that. I don't know. Right now, I don't think we're doing that. I think we're moving on. And we'll trade. between in the next few months between 90,000 and 70,000 in this area. I don't think we're going to start any significant bull run that goes up into past 100,000. We'll see. But anyway, I think we're probably going to trade sideways till about June. Well, I guess that's not really sideways. But now, I mean, 70,000 and 90,000, that's really only, 20% or so. It's not a lot. So I just want to show you that. I just wanted to go over the visual range volume profile kind of briefly here with you. And let's look at one more thing. So I want to discuss where I see a pullback coming. And looking at these indicators here, on the bottom we have the stochastic indicator just turning upwards here. So I imagine that would come back up into up here. And possibly could remain up here until Friday the 22nd or Thursday the 21st of March. And what day are we on now? We're on the 10th of March. So a couple more weeks. And now let's look at the we don't need to look at these other ones, but let's look at the RSI. And currently, what are we doing? We're really just flirting with this original trend line that we drew. I've since drawn a new one, this aqua colored one, and I'll zoom out and show you. Well, the first trend line we had was this yellow one. And we obviously broke through that there, but couldn't hold below it. That was whenever that was, the 23rd of February. And came back upwards, back up through it. But that was the point where I said, you know what, that yellow trend line wasn't the real one. The actual trend line was this green one off of this point and this point. And so sure enough, when we broke through that yellow one, we did not cross the green one. And we came back up. But now we've crossed the green one, but are dancing around with it the past several days. Since Wednesday. And potentially coming back up through the moving average here in the next day or two. So that's why I think Tuesday, makes sense. Tuesday that we do hit those targets that I was talking about around the $74,000, $75,000 region. And so now I see this new trend line here that I'm declaring is our new trend line. And what I see potentially happening is us coming up here. I won't get all into bearish and bullish divergence and all that stuff right here. I'm rambling on a little bit too long anyway. So I do see us coming up here somewhere and being able to hold above this line and above the moving average until when? Until right about here, March 21st, where we then once again fall through this trend line. And the question is, do we fall then through this trend line as well? Probably so. And then but when I say fall through these trend lines, we don't necessarily need to see a dump in the market. We can just see sideways action, and that will get us to cool this thing down a little bit as well. So I'm looking for March 21st as a pullback. All right, so that's about that. And anything else I want to talk about? Here's the total three. Total three looks really good. Wow, yeah, it's staying above its trend lines, staying above the moving average. Uh, Maybe a little pullback here and then another bounce. Same deal. But that's not even what I wanted to look at. I wanted to look at the chart. Now, what I see with total three is that we did break out from this handle of our large cup and handle pattern. But as these handles are forming, I said, you know what? I don't think that these are the actual handles. I think they're just more part of a larger structure. And right now we are here. So I do see our cup continuing to form up to here, possibly at around 840 billion, gajillion, whatever we're on. So that looks like it's a potential for our ultimate top. That would be up here. If we can just continue it upward here. Oh. Yeah, that could be the same if we did. I have this white X up here as a target for some reason. Oh, it's $1 trillion, I think. Huh. The top of this blue channel is right there on around March 21st. It's the intersection of that blue channel and that green channel at about 850. That makes a lot of sense. What is this blue channel? Okay, the blue channel goes from our bottom on on June 2022. It hits here on September 22. It's here. It's not hitting exact highs and lows, except right here on October before we started our bust a move. But also the blue channel, this little blue channel down here is part of a larger blue channel that I see now. As I zoom out, that encompasses the entire price history of Bitcoin. Yeah, okay. You can see there what the blue channel is. Oh, it goes all the way back to the beginning of time right here. And it's part of a larger channel. Yeah, what I just said. So I do see that potentially happening. And then once we hit up here, maybe choppy sideways for a little bit. This is really zoomed out. So once we get up here, maybe choppy sideways for a little bit until we get over here And then boom, explosion. All right, so that turned out to be a lot longer than I thought. So time to say goodbye and see you next time. And like and subscribe and check out Alto Ira too. Thanks. Bye.